Has it ever occurred to you to drive better next time? No. Okay. Alright, what do we have here? You're joking, right? You're joking? Greg, you're joking. No? Okay. A sack. A sack. You put a sack over their head. Can they at least breathe? Whose idea even was... You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. Take it off them. Take it off. No, you barbarians! No! No! I meant the sack. Over their head. Did you leave your brain in the car? Huh? Did you? Did you leave it there? Oh, I have to do everything myself. Goodness me. I am so sorry, dear. I did not ask them to put this filthy sack over your head. Okay. Was this your idea? Greg? Was it yours? Well, whose was it? Did you just find them with a sack conveniently over their head? Goodness. Okay. I pay you an unbelievable amount of money to do one thing. Capture them without restraints. Capture them without restraints. Without, without. And do you know what you did? Correct. You captured them with restraints. Now, do you remember what happens to people who don't know how to follow orders? We ask them to do better next time. And we ask them politely not to put a sack over people's heads. Is that understood? Good, good, good. See, that wasn't so hard. Okay, back to you. Oh, darling, are you okay? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I asked them to tape your mouth shut. That I did. Though I had more sinister ideas, I suppose. Let me take those off for you. But before I do, I'll need you to understand 3 things. Okay? Can you do that for me? I can't understand you. Okay. Number 1, no one can hear you. Number 2, I'm a very busy man, so you should be thankful that I'm even giving you a jiffy of my time. Is that understood? And number 3, I hate repeating myself. I really hate repeating myself. Is that understood? Good, good. We had our differences, and now we've come to a healthy agreement, I would say. Better already. Feisty, aren't we? Oh, do you have anything, I don't know, nicer to say to me? You do owe me one, after all. Figures. Yes, I could imagine all the questions running through your head as we speak. Don't worry, don't worry. You are under my protection. meaning you only have very few things to worry about, which is an improvement from many things you'd have to worry about under normal circumstances. I must agree, though, this is not an ideal meeting space. I apologize for the somewhat aggressive setting. It's all just for appearances, really. A scare tactic, you know? Well, I think it's about time I get you a little up to speed with your situation. Would you like that? Good. Ooh, but where do I even begin? Decisions. Ah, how about we start with you? Yes, let's start with you. How about the fact that I know who you are? That I know exactly why you're here. Nothing? Not even a flinch? I'm impressed. Very impressed. Well, it just so happens that I have a delicious scoop of what you do exactly. Oh, don't play pretend now. There's just no point. You'll only be digging yourself a grave. You know what you are. And so do I. Isn't that right, officer? What? Nothing? I swear you're, what? Okay, Greg, hand me the papers, please. Thank you. Where are my glasses? Okay, yes, here, look. It says right here, you're an officer. What do you mean that says teacher? What? No, that clearly says... Just show me your ID. Yes, give it. Thank you. Teacher, first grade. Okay. Who wrote this? Hello? Anybody? So did all of this nonsense just appear on the paper? No? No one? You? Greg! Really? Again? Greg. Okay. What kind of handwriting is this? I mean, what in the hell is this? How did you write this so poorly? Did you write with your other hand? Or are you just not handed? Like, at all? Gosh, people. One job. You have one job. Whatever. No. Stop. Okay. Excuse me. Back to you. Teach. Okay. Teacher, officer, librarian, dog trainer. It does not matter one bit. Oh, it's a funny story, actually. Oh my god, this is way more entertaining now. What matters is only one thing. Your employer. Ah, such a beautiful dumbfounded look. Yes, your employer. He is the sole reason why you kneel before me. Oh, but Silas, whatever could you mean? I hear you asking. Well, I am glad you asked, dear captive. See, the thing is, your employer is in a bit of a pickle. That is, if you truly are the teacher. Little old Mr. Jeffords one day finds himself a bit strapped for cash. So, to make ends meet, he dabbles in an eensy-weensy, no substance market. Are we on the same page? Yeah, he dabbles in the no substance market, as you normally do. Oh, but he's not the brightest little peddler. Not at all, no. He gets caught red-handed. He then finds himself with two options. Option A, go to jail. Not a very good option, I can imagine. Or option B, use their no substance connections to ask the Mafia, that's us, by the way, hello, for a little bit of protection. Seeing as poor old Mr. Jeffords is alive and free, you could imagine which option he took. For the low price of his liver, the Mafia afforded him a bit more time to, say, sort things out a little with his run-ins with the law. Oh, but there's one thing you should understand about sticking your nose into our business. You never want to owe us anything. That's just common sense, no? Greg, would you want to owe us anything? Right, didn't think so. What about you, teacher? Would you want to owe us anything? That's exactly right. You don't. But for Mr. Jeffords, what's done is done. We gave him 6 months to iron out all his creases. And time's always a ticking. 6 months go by, and nothing. We haven't heard a damn thing from Mr. Jeffords. No, we didn't. But we pride ourselves in our patience. Not once did we press him or bother him or threaten him or anything of that sort. Which I guess, in hindsight, he took for a sign of weakness. That maybe we're a pushover. We're not, clearly, seeing as you're here. See, we invited ourselves to Mr. and Mrs. Jeffords' beautiful home just a few weeks ago. We gave him time, and still nothing. We spent many of that cold, hard moolah, that green cash, to save your friendly neighborhood Mr. Jeffords. But he had nothing to show for. So we did what any reasonable family would do. We threatened him, then his wife, then his home, and eventually he bet. Take my school, take all of it, he said. I still see the snot dripping out of his nose. Pathetic. I don't even know what he meant. How do you take a school? Then he clarified. There's this very charming and accomplished teacher that just started working there. 1st grade, I believe. Now, I still had no idea what he meant by that. So naturally, I drew my pistol, aimed it right here. What do you mean? I said. You can have them, he said. Now, Mr. Jeffords, for all that he is, sure knows the way to my heart. He knew that my father had been itching for me to have a partner. To have someone run this family so desperately. So much so that my father took the bait. Deal, he said. And with a handshake, your employer just signed you off to me for 3 months of extra time. Now, boy, does that hurt. 3 months. 3 months, that is all. That hurts, right? I mean, I would be hurt. Greg, would you be hurt? Actually, don't even answer that. Okay. And there's that. Part of me thinks that you don't believe a single word that I'm saying. Is that right? You don't believe me? Oh, is that so? But I don't see you with any control of your situation. You sure bite. I like it. Funnily enough, though, when I captured you, I had no idea that you were the teacher. I thought you were coming in next week. All this time, I thought you were just some lowly, undercover police officer trying to make a big name out of themselves by catching a whiff of this whole Mafia shebang. But now that I know who you really are, it's fair to say that you're in a more interesting predicament. But whatever could I mean? Good question. Well, luckily, or unluckily for you, I've grown to like you just a little bit. I like that fight you have in you, you know? That fire. It's like you have something to live for. That's fair. You are being held captive, yeah? Well, whatever the case may be, I like it. And I have all the say in the world to whatever I want with you. Would that be okay? Oh, is that a no? Is that a yes? Which is it? You were collateral, and now you are mine. What's so hard to understand? What reason do you have? What possible reason do you have to decline? Oh, yapping and yapping and yapping and yada yada yada. Truly, truly feisty. How's that? Did that get your attention? Why, yes, I did cuff us together. Very astute observation. Oh, well, you can just call it a sign of commitment, or a reminder that you have no choice. Either is fine. Stay calm. Just for 5 minutes, okay? Is that so much to ask? Good. Okay. Guys, you can go. That goes for you too, Greg, especially for you, Greg. Yes, go. Leave the car. Shh. Quiet. They have a habit of hanging around, even when you tell them to leave. All right, here's the deal. I know who you are. You're no teacher. You're no lowly police officer. And you're certainly not some ordinary civilian. Mr. Jeffords, caught up in some drug ring? Please. You did so well to play along this made-up story of mine. It's honestly scary how good you are at this. But see, you and Mr. Jeffords just so happened to mess with the one family you shouldn't mess with. And now, your eensy-weensy operation is falling apart as we speak. Yes, your operation. I know your little gang detective. Oh my gosh. Ooh, did you really think you were getting somewhere with this? Fiddling around with arts and crafts in the day, doing some undercover work at night? Oh my goodness. You must take me for a fool. A hidden gun. Really? Oh, you poor, poor detective. Shot so far, yet landed so short. Whatever can you do now? Do you want to know how your little facade came crashing down? Sure, why not? Well, as is still the case, it starts and ends with your Mr. Lieutenant Jeffords. I know he was the one with the bright ambitions to take down this oh so awful mafia ring running the city. A tall task, if you ask me. He runs his idea by the captain, and by some miracle he agrees. So he gets his brightest, bravest, most capable detective, that's you, by the way, and uses a hapless school as their cover. Am I right so far, by the way? Am I getting it right? Just let me know if I'm paraphrasing too much. Him as an I'm desperate for money principal, and you as an unknowing, wide-eyed first-grade teacher. Of all the things you could choose to pretend to be, you chose a damn teacher. Overworked, underpaid, and never respected enough, yet you chose to sully their name for the sake of your childish play-pretend game. And for what? To kneel down in front of the very man you should be putting behind bars? For absolutely nothing. Do you have any clue how much I love teachers? If you had an iota of a clue, you'd have known better than to put an entire school in danger. You'd have known better than to stick your noses into our business. Yet here we are, pushing buttons and living with the consequences. Pardon me. Anyway, intelligent old Mr. Jeffords here has been working closely with the police, the 98th Precinct, tipping them off to our activity, not having a damn clue that I control every single precinct this side of the bridge. You can imagine how funny it was for me seeing all the cute little notes you'd hand down to the police, like some Little League scouting report. Had you gone completely under the radar, you may have had a pretty good shot at denting us. But evidently, you didn't. And now, you're here, and Mr. Jeffords sitting comfortably in his principal chair, none the wiser. However, my father is offshore tending to some business that I'm sure you'd love to try and ruffle up. So for the time being, it's yours truly who's in charge. You just caught yourself a lucky break. I like you. I like your guts. And I love your feistiness. You bite, and I can appreciate that even if you're barking up the wrong tree. Now, with everything being said, I'll offer you one thing. Call it a lifeline, you know? You'll have to listen first. Gun. I'm offering you one thing, one time only. The choice is yours, of course, though it'd be best if you remembered how limited your options are. So, a week from now, my father will be back from his little business trip, and one thing you have to know about him is that he's a little eccentric, I guess is the right word. He's not your typical huff and puff and gruff mafia boss. No, that could never be him. The only thing that he's ever wanted from me is to find a loving partner. One that he says could run the empire with me. Funny, isn't it? But that's it. That's all that he asks every single time. He's asked for nothing else from me. Normally, I would not give a hoot about any of this lovey-dovey talk, but there's something in the water for my father as of late, and he's given me an ultimatum. If I can't prove to him that I'm capable of finding a partner in crime, quite literally, then he's absolutely gonna cut all my power in half. And he's gonna give the rest of it to my brother. My stinking good-for-nothing brother. No, I don't want that. And I don't want to go around mingling either. So, for just one whole week, and the day or two where my father's here, I want you to pretend to be my loving partner. Just for 1 week. I'll take that as a resounding no. Okay, shall we talk logistics then? Well, you'll be living with me at my house for the entire period. You're free to come and go outside if you please, so long as you don't draw any attention towards you or cause us any problems. Okay? As for the topic of your teacher work, you can pass it off as intensive undercover work to Mr. Jeffords and a paid vacation to everyone else. Of course, we'll tell you what to tip off to him in the precinct. Your lieutenant would be so pleased to know just how much progress you've been making. Isn't that right? Well, whatever question you may have, I have the answer. All you have to do now is decide if you're in or out. How's that? You like that little explanation? I spent a lot of time practicing that in the mirror, mind you. Okay, so, what will it be? Yes or no? Huh. And here I thought the threat of violence would convince you. Interesting. Let me remind you again of the 50 pounds of crab you're under. Now, like I said, you'd have been long gone by now. Darkness, before you even knew it. Look, I'm not an avid supporter of kidnapping myself, but you always have to remind yourself of your position when making a business deal. Look, darling, don't make me say it. I'm not the one who fucked up. You did. All I'm here for is to be the harbinger of justice. I really don't think you understand what little leverage you have, detective. You have none. If you choose to go along with my little plan, after a week I'll cut you and Lieutenant Jeffords loose. Right after. No harm done. If you don't go along with my plan, then I'll personally end everything myself. If you get what I'm trying to say. Is that what you want? Just kidding. I don't like putting people underground, personally. But I can't exactly vouch for what my family feels. If it's a no, then I'll let my father handle the situation. I'll let him know you two are undercover police officers, and we'll let him deal with that. He may be eccentric, but he doesn't mess around. Now you can go ahead and take that risk, detective. But I'm sure that your big brain knows that there really isn't much of a choice. If it's a yes, you live. If it's a no, you don't. If I kept you alive, it would be so much more complicated for me. So much more work. Call it the labor of love, no? Look, darling, I don't exactly see anyone else giving you an out. You either trust me, or you don't. You either agree, or you don't. No, I'm not promising anything. Quite the dilemma indeed, Well, what's the verdict? Yes or no? Good. You made the right choice. Ah, right. You don't exactly have a choice, do you? Then, I'll see you tomorrow for dinner, darling.